Hello, my name is Jacob Stidham, and welcome to the sample product for the synchronous media lesson plan. For this lesson plan, the end result will be a presentation slash video presentation on community engagement. So I'm just going to kind of walk through an example of what that should look like and kind of give some explanation as to what I would be looking for if this project was created. So again, the whole purpose of this was for kids to find a problem in their community that they could find a solution to and propose to the county in order to solve. So what I did was I made up a fake issue just because it would be easier that way. And if I was to really do this, I wouldn't really want to give them an idea that they could steal or copy. So I just kind of made up a issue that could possibly happen in any scenario. So anyways, the first thing they need is an introduction. So good morning. Thank you for your time, even though it's the evening. My name is Jacob Stidham. I'm a student at Winston Churchill High School in Montgomery County, which is where I work. And then I'm here today to talk about the pressing issue at Cabin John Park. So that would be the first slide. So the agenda would be, we're going to talk about the problem, we're then going to get into the solution, the plan for the solution, costs of the solution, and then possible obstacles before the conclusion of this presentation. So, the reason why I'm sitting in front of you today is because we have a serious problem at the Cabin John Regional Park. This problem is that there's a lot of trash that always seems to pile up everywhere at the park. It's become quite noticeable, and a lot of people tend to not go to the park because of that. Again, this is a made-up issue, so that's not really happening. But anyways, as a result, trash is always everywhere in the park. This impacts the wildlife as plastic and other trash is harmful to the environment, and it really does keep crowds away from the park. So this not only impacts the environment, but the community as a whole. So that's kind of what they should kind of get into. What people kind of think about the issue. So based on Google Meets and getting opinions from students and adults on online surveys and polls, there was some data that was brought in to see how people kind of thought about the issue and what solution I'm going to propose to you all. So 90% of people agree that the situation at the park is a big issue and needs to be rectified. 60% of the people polled were willing to be active in helping solve the issue. And then overall, 97% of the people were in full support of the solution I propose to you all now. So this is kind of where the synchronous part comes in. The teacher would kind of allow Google Meets where they could meet with other classes or other students online and kind of get opinions from not only students in the school, but you could also arrange it with kids in other schools, like at the middle schools or other local high schools that use the area. So I thought that would be kind of a cool way in order to use that. Anyways, next would be the solution, where they kind of have to show the solution. So, the solution, allowing the park to acquire new equipment and other measures in order to allow the trash buildup to go away. Also having a group or organization to help clean up the park occasionally. So we could hire more people to do this. We could hire a crew who came in a few times a week to, take the trash out of the trash bins and recycle, and even kind of go around the park and see if there's any trash left around. With these measures, the park can become cleaner and better for the environment. In reality, the solution will probably be more intricate than that, but since this is just an example, I just kind of did bare minimum. But same with the step-by-step plan, kind of did the bare minimum, even though in reality, the plan would be much more than this. So anyways, organize a cleanup. The step-by-step plan would be to organize a cleanup, to clean the trash in the park, because you can put in, and the reason why I put that first is because you can put in the new trash cans, recycling bins, and signs, but you still need to do something about the trash that's already there. Then you can bring in the new trash cans and recycling bins. You could hire, and pardon the spelling, I just realized that, a crew to clean trash a few times a week. So that could be under the county or the community's dime, and they could also hold community events to help keep the park clean. So again, this would be a little bit more intricate in reality, but this is kind of the bare minimum. So costs and obstacles. And the reason why I kind of have them put this here is that if they were to do an actual proposal to the county, these are questions that people would ask. How much would it cost to do all this? What are some issues that could possibly pop up? Or what are some issues to doing this currently? So that kind of makes the students kind of think a little bit about, how to realistically do this. So costs. It'll cost X amount of money to buy new trash cans, recycling bins, and signs. It could also cost between X amount to hire a crew to clean the park. Community groups and events could help decrease uptake costs by getting volunteer help. So that's also a way to kind of decrease costs. And then we could also acquire funding from blank and blank. So again, this is kind of used as an example, but they would kind of have to ballpark costs, look at things like that. They could also look and see where they could get funding from. And I kind of stole that idea from the final project, since we're looking at funding proposals. So they could research ways to acquire funding either from the county or from groups that could provide money to the county. Obstacles. Replacing missing or broken signs and bins, because wear and tear happens. Getting volunteer support for cleanup events could be difficult. Finding spots that work well for the bins, as well as making sure people put trash in the bins, and then getting approved funding from blank. So, and again, the reason why I have the costs and obstacles is because if they were to do this, as the plan would suggest, this would really, they would kind of need to think about things in a more realistic manner, because again, if your job is to do something like this, where you're doing presentations, trying to get people to either buy or sell something to you, or, if you're just pitching a proposal in general, people are going to ask questions, people are going to want to know, what are going to be the costs and what are going to be some difficulties. So it kind of makes the kids kind of think a little bit more realistically in terms of that. So conclusions. Thank you for hearing about my proposal. Hopefully the committee will consider my proposal in order to help improve both the park and the community as a whole. And then obviously they would be the questions part. But overall, this is kind of how I pictured this final product being. And again, there would be a lot more planning and statistics and, pretty much everything more in depth. But since this is just a lesson plan, I figured just kind of give the bare minimum in order to give the idea of what this would kind of look like going down the road. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a nice evening.